Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment and share my videos. So today's video I'll be talking about my disability. It's kind of an awareness and also a informative video, but also just a testimony on what the Lord has done for me. I hope this video gives insight and just to share hope of that there is healing. So it's gonna be a bit of a story time today. So yeah. So I was born with a disability called Osteogenesis imperfecta. It is a long name, also known as OI. It is a bone disorder, bone deficiency, where it just says that you have brittle bones. So the whole long name is you have brittle bones, meaning that your bones break easily. It's like a fragile type of bones because there is a lack of collagen, type 1 collagen in your bones that makes your bones stronger. So a person with OI has less of that collagen. That is what makes your body, your bones weaker. So I was born with that disability, as I've said in my previous videos. I was born in Congo. When I was born, it wasn't really visible, like it wasn't noticeable, like they didn't diagnose it immediately because I was born like a normal child. It's just that my left leg was like bent, so it was I had like a bent. It was like this. It wasn't straight. It was bent. So apart from that, everything was fine until I started growing into my toddler age. I was living with my grandmother, which passed away a long time ago. And she, like, obviously when I was growing up and I was crawling, they started like noticing that I always had pains and my bones used to break easily and like swollen, like my bones were getting swollen and everything. So it was like alarming to them, and then they took me to like the doctors and all of that. I remember as I was growing up, like still my toddler age, I was still as laughable. I used to laugh a lot. I was very joyful when I was young, and like people couldn't understand because I used to go through so much pain. It's terrible pains, like it's pains that you can't explain. I still remember vividly. But I was so joyful. I always had, like that joyful spirit. And then they took me to the doctor, but in Congo they couldn't really identify that I have this condition. Like it's actually a condition. So they were like, trying their best. They tried to make my legs straight. My support system was my family. Like I never felt like I was different, growing up as a toddler. I never felt like that because they really inserted that love in me. Like you will literally see that they love you more than everyone else, like than the other children, like at home also. Because I was surrounded by my aunts, my grandmother. Like you can't touch me. My grandmother will come for you. So yeah, it was a really loving environment that I grew into. But like the pain and everything. I remember this one time, I think I was like rocking on something and then I fell.
You got kick?
I fell and I broke my bones. And then they rushed me to hospital. I remember my aunt was like, she was talking to God and like, why is this happening to her and all of that. And then I remember she was still telling me, like she held my hand and she was like, because they had to inject me and all of that. I was screaming, I didn't want to let her go. And she was just looking at me and she was like, she felt like this kind of sadness and her heart was like paining, And then they diagnosed me immediately that I had Osteogenesis imperfecta. They operated on my left leg. I was in hospital in Maitland Cottage. Well, first I was under Red Cross. For those who know South Africa, I was under Red Cross, and then I was hospitalized in Maitland Cottage Children's Hospital. And they operated on my left leg. Like every time when they operated, a bone broke. Like I would literally just sit down and move, and a bone would break. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. Google was saying me, it's serious. So I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then. It was hard, it was painful. They operated, like, I remember I stayed in hospital for almost a year. In a way of, I stayed in hospital for a few months. They operated my leg. I came back home. I broke a leg. I didn't fall, nothing. Because I became so, at that age, at that young age, 6, 7, and 8, I became so knowing. Like I was so controlling of myself. Like if you wanna pick me up, I will tell you how to pick me up. I will tell you how not to touch me. I became so self-aware because I knew that any wrong move would break something. So yeah. So every time when I came home, I broke a leg. I broke something. I broke a bone in my legs. My left leg was the most fragile one. So I was breaking it like I don't know how. I broke. I came back. So that whole year, I remember I was in hospital, and I spent time in hospital, even Christmas and New Year. But like the people, like those visitors that comes to visit you in hospital and they brought you toys. That was my fun fact, because I used to like being in hospital December because we would get presents. And I want to encourage people that actually visit children or people in hospital to really keep on doing that, because you have an impact on those people's lives, because they're just sitting on the bed the whole day, and you bring that light in them. And that was always what I was looking forward to, presents. There would be other schools that came to visit. There would be other people that came to cry when it was New Year, when it was Christmas. They brought me bags. Like whenever I came out of hospital during the festive seasons, I used to be packed with toys, and that was just my cherry on the top. But anyway, I had a lot of sequence of broken bones on my leg, and then also operations that followed with operations. And then after that, I used to feel like I was the only one. I used to feel like there was no other disabled people in this world but me. That was like the mindset I had. And I became very like lonely. I wasn't really communicating with a lot of people. Whenever people are staring at me, it was like, was giving me that, why are people staring at me? Like, why are you staring at me? Yes. And then that time I wasn't going to school. It actually backtracked me in a way that I wasn't, like, if I go to school, obviously I have a bone break, I have to stay back home and all of that. Yeah. But I had like my family members who were always there with me, like honestly, my cousins. And then at times when they would come pick me up to go to their house, we would take a train or a taxi, but usually we used to take a train. And every time when like they would push me like very fast, just the fact that I'm moving up and down, I broke a bone. I remember that time vividly. Wow, they were pushing me fast. I didn't fall, nothing. I feel like it was just the movement that did something to me. And then I got home. And the pain it starts like nothing. starting. It starts small, and it started growing. And after that weekend, I went back home, and it became a lot. Like it became like a severe pain. And then my cousin that I was living with was like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know, nothing happened before. No, nothing. I went to the hospital and they told me you broke a bone. How did I break a bone if I didn't fall? It was tense. And then after that, I had another operation. I had so many operations. Fast forward again, I started school. I started school for children with disability. I'll tell you more about that. But that was a way, when I started that school, it was like, wow, I'm not alone. There was like a lot of differently able, but like I'll say it in a word that we all know. There were so many disabled children that I was like, I thought that I was always the only one, you know? And there were children worse than me. There were children that couldn't feed themselves. There were children that couldn't talk. There was children that I looked at them like, I started getting so good about myself. That was a school that really boosted my self-esteem. Like it was like, wow, they are actually, I'm not the only one, you know. And then I started going to that school, my self-esteem started being boosted, I started having more confidence in myself, I started trying new things. In addition of me being like brittle bones, I was very, very thin, to the extent where like the house mothers, the nurse aides were like very afraid to touch me, to handle me, because they didn't want to hurt me. Fast forward, my last break that I had was when I was 11 years old. So my cousin, she was lifting me up. She lifted me up. I feel like she lifted me up in the wrong way, and it like I just heard a crack sound on my shoulders, and I didn't take it to note because it wasn't like pain. Like I started recognizing certain pains that I had, but like it wasn't like a very painful crack. It just was a little, and then after a few days it started developing, and it became very, very bad that I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to school. I was at school. The physios at school were like, they came to me trying to help, but they were like, we can't really massage you because we don't know like what is the cause and like where is exactly the pain and all of that. So I couldn't get out of bed, nothing. So instead of them sending me home, they had to take me to the emergency room because it was that bad. They had to rush me to the emergency room. And when I got to the emergency room, I was there alone, and I was like crying and I was praying because I knew what would come next. I was crying and I was really like, God, please don't let this be bad. Please don't let that. I was praying. I stayed there for a few hours, and then a doctor came in and they took me for x-rays, and the x-ray came out that I dislocated my elbow. So when she picked me up unknowingly, these things happen unknowingly. It wasn't intentional. She picked me up to place me somewhere else, and then that happened. So my collarbone was dislocated, and the heart just dropped. I'm like, is this another operation? And I asked that doctor. I looked at him like, am I gonna have another operation? He's like, don't be silly. We can't operate on your collarbone, but I'm gonna have to push it back. And I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I was relieved that there's no operation, but the pushing back of my bones, I was like, I've never experienced that. And so he like pushed my collarbone back, and it was excruciating. It was painful. And then he wrapped bandages around so that they just keep it stable. He kept it stable in one position, so that he said the bones are like that, it will join back together. After a few days, he gave me some pills and all of that, and I went back home. And to say that that was my last break, because after that I really started praying. Like, my cousin started taking me to church. We really started, like, telling God, we don't want this, we don't want this. Like, she was declaring upon my life, because she was like the mother figure in my life. So she started declaring upon my life and saying that this can't go on. We cannot be experiencing bone break. And she started reminding God of all His promises and everything. And she's like, you know the reason why you made her like this, but you can't let her life be of pains and breakage and operation. Lord, make a way. Let this end. Like, she started declaring. She taught me how to declare upon myself. I started praying, started going to church. And I could say that since that age, it was my last break. Guys, it was like my last break. I haven't experienced any breakage anymore, and I am like 21 years old now. And the Lord has healed me. I could say that the Lord has healed me from that bone breaking. Yes, people would want to see that, oh no, want to see you out of the wheelchair. But to me, the peace that I have now and the knowledge of that the Lord healed me from, because if someone had to say, choose between those breakage and pains and everything, and this where I am at this point of life that I am in right now, I would choose this. I would choose this. He has switched my life. God has switched my life from where it was with pain to where I am now. But because of osteogenesis, the condition I had, so as I was growing up, I developed scoliosis. Scoliosis is like the bending of my spine. So my spine is a bit skew, and the doctors because I wasn't even going to the doctors anymore, I stopped. And then my cousin, I stopped like for a few years. And my cousin was like, no, let's just go and have a checkup and everything. Maybe they can do something with your bones or something like that. Like, let's just go and see the doctor. And then we went to the doctors again, just to do some checkup. And they checked everything. They checked my spine, the X-ray of my spine, and they were like, we can't touch you, we can't operate on you, because it's already amazing us that your bones, the way it's structured, but you are still doing everything for yourself. Because then I became independent. Like, I became independent in a way of like, it's only walking I can't do. Everything else I could do. And it was so surprising because I can also sit up straight, without any support. And they were like, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. And the way your spine is, we would think maybe like you wouldn't be able to do certain things, or you would be actually paralyzed. But this already on its own is amazing. We can't touch your bones. We can't touch anything, because what if we operate trying to make things better and things just goes worse? To me, it was like, no, man, God, like, I wanted them to do something. I wanted a solution from them, and that's what they told me. And I was really sad. I went back and I was crying in the car, and then I had a driver that was picking me from school, and he was like, Mocha, are you crying because of that, or because of what the doctor said? So you were looking for solutions by the doctors, and they couldn't give you that, and now you are crying. And he was like, Mocha, look at all these people around you. Look at, like, she showed me the people around, like, people are dying. People are going through the most in this world. But look at you, you are joyful. The Lord provides for you. The Lord protects you. There is nothing that you can say that you are lacking at this moment in time, because God is providing for your needs and everything. So you are just sad. You are telling me that you are sad because you couldn't get solutions from the doctors. And I was like, wait a minute, that actually makes sense. And I was like, wow. And it actually gave me motivation. And since then, I praise God. I had 6 operations in total. Motivation that, wow, I was like, yeah, I'm looking for solutions from doctors, human beings, but God is taking care of me. He has everything under control. And then since then, I started like growing in the faith, growing closer to God, because I realized that He is the one that is making me to be the person that I am, to be the way I am. He has given me strength. He has given me knowledge, wisdom, intelligence. Like, He has given me everything that I need. Yeah, that was the last broken bone I had, and then that was the visiting of the hospital. My back was like the last visitation that I had with the doctors. The appointment I had with the doctor, and he told me, he was like, you don't need to come back every time for checkups. You are fine. You are absolutely normal, fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Only if like there is literally a problem, but you don't need to be coming for checkups and everything. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, praise the name of the Lord. Like, I'm not gonna go to hospital anymore and all of that. So then I started doing some research on my own on YouTube, and I actually found out like Winston from the Clements also has the same disability, Osteogenesis imperfecta. And he's actually the one that, when I was watching his videos, he encouraged me to actually start this YouTube channel. Like, it gave me a motivation to also speak up about my disability. So I found out that he also has osteogenesis imperfecta, and quite a few people actually have it. And others are actually very worse. They're severe in terms of they have like broken bones everywhere, and like it's bad. And when I looked at myself, I'm like, thank God, since that age of, I think I was 10, 11, 12, I'm not sure. I had my last broken bone until today. I could say that the Lord has healed me from it. Yes, I do experience some pains, but it's just literally body pains. Like, okay, I overworked myself, okay, I have pain. But it's not constant. I rarely get sick. I don't drink medication. So God is good. God is good, and God is able to heal you the same way that He has healed me. So have faith in God. God can do anything and everything. So yes, that was my short testimony. So I hope you guys grab something from this, and yeah, stay consistent in prayer, have faith in God, and I'll see you on my next video.